And I can tell you at this stage of Derek's career, he didn't need to do that. And he could regret it. And
what's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with 7 weeks out physique update of the reigning Miss Olympia champion Samson Dao. At this point it seems like Samson is just pulling away from the rest of his competition, because here we are, weeks out of his 4th consecutive Arnold, and once again, there are improvements in his physique that were made in a really short time after the Olympia last year. The most important thing here is that the conditioning that he's holding on to at 7 weeks out, his lower back is looking super tight, good enough separation in the hamstrings, and he still has so much time on his side to be a lot sharper than this for this upcoming Arnold. And I have got to say, it is so amazing to see how the back lat spread of Samson Dao is turning out to be one of the best back shots in comparison to all the guys, including Derek and Hadi, and all these other guys who made the first call out at the Olympia last year. And we have to keep in mind, this is that one area where Samson was always criticized, because his back was never as good as his front or as his sides. His quads as always are looking massive, with insane separation at this point, and his arms also seem to have gotten even bigger than the last time he was in prep. Now you have got to give the credit to his coach, his wife, Marlena, as Samson always says, that she has been the one calling all the shots, and Samson has been improving extremely well since the Arnold UK last year. Now, as big of a name Milo Sarcev is in bodybuilding world as a top guru, one cannot ignore the fact that he was unable to get Samson in as good of a shape, as good of a condition in 13 shows that these guys did together compared to the ones that Samson Dao did with his wife Marlena.
you're only bringing him in with the hopes and the expectations that he's going to make you better than you were. And I can tell you at this stage of Derek's career, he didn't need to do that. And he could regret it. And
Shawn Ray has always been very famous about talking without any filters, but maybe he should sometimes, as he is once again on a roll, on pissing off multiple people, and that too at the same time. He not only calls out Derek Lunsford for hiring Chris Aceto as his new coach, but he also gave the impression that Derek pairing up with Chris Cormier as his trainer, that was also not needed.
he's won the Olympia. I mean, so having a strong support group is one thing, but at this stage of his career, I'm surprised that he'd be bringing other people into the mix.
Does a guy at that level who's been Mr. Olympia need a trainer?
I don't know. I don't even see where that would come. He needs a sparring partner. He needs somebody to challenge him in the gym, take him into the deep waters and see who survives and who doesn't. I don't imagine you need a psychological coach or some guy that's kind of been to the dance with other athletes, different protocols.
And we got the impression that Derek at this stage of his career, where he has won the 212 title as well as an Open Olympia title, Shawn Ray says there isn't much he can do differently in terms of his training to drastically improve his physique. Now Chris Cormier, on the other hand, he was willing to bet $10,000 over the fact that Derek is gonna be so much better, especially in his weak areas, like for instance his quads or his abs, simply because of how well he's gonna make him connect to his muscles while training and posing, which is indirectly saying that his former coach Hani Rambod, the greatest coach of all time, he kinda failed to do that with Derek, because after all, what Derek was following was the blueprint laid out by Hani Rambod, and Chris Cormier said it was too much.
Bring me somebody that's going to take me to the next level, someone that's going to challenge me in the gym. Aceto hasn't been in the gym. Aceto hasn't been underneath the bar. Aceto's not training with these athletes. This is an experiment that could go really good or could go really bad. And if it goes really bad, we're going to be sitting here, 11 months from now looking at each other going, well, he did this to himself because he certainly didn't have to bring this element into his camp.
Now we did see a glimpse of Derek and Matt Grego going through rounds and rounds of posing with Chris Cormier today. And this is where Derek can really shine, because Chris is a master of bringing the best out of any athlete through posing and presentation, and showing your physique in the best possible way. But all that being said, maybe Shawn Ray needs to be a bit careful, because he's throwing punches everywhere, and people of course are gonna fight back. Next up, we have an update from Akim Foda, who I believe revealed for the very first time that he had 2 slip discs and he spent his entire offseason in constant pain And maybe that is one of the reasons why his back is still far behind in the overall development compared to his front and his side shots. His front in particular was so damn good in all the shows that he did, especially against a guy like John Del Rosso in the front double and the front large spread, and that was at Tampa Pro. But the fact is, he lost all the remaining shots, and his Olympia debut, that just isn't something he's very proud of, or something that he would really want to remember, because he massively underperformed from being overdieted and burnt out for a really long time, and from a really long prep. So Muhammad Foda is consuming close to 6,000 calories at the moment in his off-season, and we have to keep in mind, he's working with Stefan as his coach, and after the Olympia, he made the announcement that he's gonna be taking a long break from competing, from stepping on stage, and he is just gonna focus on getting better in all the right areas. Put on some more muscle, bring up his back. Now the size that Muhammad Foda had at different points during his prep, that was absolutely insanity. Now he himself also knows that his back needs more time, it needs to come up, and he needs more abs control, more midsection control, especially during the transitions. Now Foda has been competing as a pro for so many years now, as he made his pro debut back in 2021, and he really did not have much success with Hani Rambod as his coach, because the thing is, he only competed in like 2 shows in total with Hani Rambod. But as of right now, the loss of feeling in his left lat, that is quite concerning for Foda at such an early stage of his career, because this can very well be a nerve-related issue. So hopefully he can fix these issues and come back better for this upcoming season, and hopefully we are gonna see him on the Olympia stage this year again. Next up, we have a physique update from arguably one of the strongest guy in the pro league right now, Akim Williams. Now Akim has totally changed his training style over these last few years, because looking back at some of his lifts from his past, the man used to train like an absolute monster, and he was probably the strongest when it comes to doing squats. Even after having a great overall 2024 season, where Akim won 2 pro shows, and he got himself back to the Olympia stage and into that Olympia top 10, he is probably that one guy whom everyone is sleeping on for this upcoming Arnold. So there is not one bodybuilder in this Arnold lineup in the men's open who doesn't have one weakness. We are gonna see 3 Meso Olympia champions in this year's Arnold lineup, and all of those guys have one weakness or another. And from what we have seen with Akim in this entire 2024 season, the man comes in peeled for most of the shows that he enters, and he has just one weak shot, and that is the back double biceps. Now Akim doesn't really get enough credit over the fact that the man has gotten so massive over the years, but at the same time, he has maintained a very small waistline and an insane V-taper, and his side shots are just out of this world. Now Samson, Andrew and Derek, they have already logged in those top 3 spots, but that 4th place, that is wide open for so many guys. Most people have James Hollingshead in that 4th spot. But if you guys remember, Akim was so good at last year's Arnold, especially at the finals, that he comprehensively beat all these guys like James, John Del Rosso during the finals. Now Akim just needs to make sure that he's on for both the sessions, at the prejudging as well as at the finals. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.